Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to the channel. The last few videos have been about fixing the brakes. Stripped out some bolts, had to remove an axle to get to them. While all that's out of there, I figured I might as well replace the bearings and seals. Pretty sure the passenger side's leaking anyways. Let's hop right into it. First thing we want to do is make sure we can get into this to change the fluid later, which I didn't know these had a rubber one. The other one I had have a bolt that you have to do. So I'm feeling pretty good about I'm able to get in and out of this since, oh God, this is gonna smell. Well, this might also just be dry. No, it's not dry at least, that's good. Which tells me maybe that's leaking less over there. That's actually pretty new fluid. That is, oh, maybe we can focus. There we go. It's actually pretty new fluid there. Like, that's clear and clean. Interesting. That is a surprise. Let's go not lose this piece here. Let's see if this easy way works first. Well, you can't fit those on there, so we're down one easy way. Let's try this guy. Well, and you can't fit those on there because there's a gas tank in the way. Great. Well, let's hope that's coming off that easy. That'd be wonderful. Yes, indeed it is. Yeah. Every one of you scaring me, but so far, don't mind all that rust falling off. I'm gonna go put some eyewear on too. Better not continue to almost get rust in my eyes. Okay. Really, so I don't remember where I was at. Nope. Let me go find a Ziploc bag to put these in because I'm going to throw it away afterwards. It smells like diff fluid already. We could check the original tag, what this is, or no, we can't because it's rusted all the way through. You gonna just let me do this? Yep, that's a lot of extra gasket seal on that one. Okay, let me loosen that top one up a little bit. And then let the flood begin. Yeah, I gotta do that by hand. Fine. All right, let me move some things out of the way because I don't want diff fluid on them because they will forever smell like it. I just give a little tap around the edge. Just a little tap around the rusted edge. Surely this isn't. There it goes. Yep, and then we'll let it leak a little slowly. And we'll let it leak a little more fastly. This is the reason I kept that top bolt in, is so this will just hold here and let this drain. You're just gonna stay there, maybe. Oh, no. Well, now that screwdriver's is in the trash. Yeah, good balance. I'm just gonna let this drain a while so this doesn't drip on me. Be back in a bit. All right, let that drip for a while. Let's get this top bolt off and get this out of here. Okay, here we go. Come on. Okay, got him. All right. Yeah, things in here aren't in too bad a shape. Let's get that out of the way. Now let's not lose that bolt first. How about we do that? Okay, the bolt that we need to get out is in this, but it needs to turn. I had to put the transfer case into neutral. That was a wild time of worrying that was going to break the whole time. I'll zoom in, maybe we can. There's our bolt that we have to undo that will then let us pull this pin out. That will then let us move the axle so we can pull the C-clamp out. Zoom you back out a bit there. Had to go find this little tiny guy. This is a 1/4 inch, allegedly. I guess I should probably put this back in gear, but maybe it won't spin on me. Nope, it's gonna spin. Let me go put this back in gear. I feel like that's gonna need to be replaced too. I assume all that linkage is rusty. Speaking of, that's not going back in gear. That's not good. Am I gonna have to go manually put this back into gear? Maybe. Well, let's go try again. Great. There we go. Let's make sure we're going, yep, lefty-loosey. Okay. We're gonna probably skip to the future on this because this is gonna take a while since I don't have a ratchet that's this size. Oh, come on. I can do that by hand now. Awesome. Well, that all happened all at once for you. There you go. Well, hopefully that was pretty obvious what just happened there. Future me, if that wasn't so obvious, that was the retaining bolt for the axles falling out, and that's what we're after. So now I need to put it back in neutral so I can turn this to get to the C-clips, and hopefully it goes back in. Now that we have the pin out, we should be able to push the axle forward. And now we can get to the C-clip. There's just no good view to this. There we go. Well, all right, there's that C-clip. Let me maybe try at least a little here. This is a wild ride of holding things. Well, all right, there's a C-clip right there that I can get to now. It just went out the backside. All right, well, I'm gonna put you down. Yeah, I got it the right way. Oh, come on. There we go. So here's our C-clip. This is the only thing holding that axle in, as wild as that is. I'm gonna make sure not to lose this. Here we go. Allegedly, this should just come right out of here. Oh, nice. Oh, that's not in too bad a shape. Generally, if you're not replacing everything here, you want to be very careful about the seal. Usually, as you get to this part, you want to be very careful about holding this up and not dragging. I'm going to go put this axle somewhere so it stays clean. Good question where that's going to be, though. Be right back. We're back under the diff. We already pulled the other one out. We just do the same thing to pull this one out. You go, oh, where's my fingers? You go out to the edge and you push the axle in, and it'll give you some room here to get the C-clip out. See if you get some hair while I do this. Give that a push, and that pushes the whole thing in. And we'll grab our C-clip, maybe. Turns out it's covered in juices and it's real hard to grab a hold of. I'm gonna reach in here with this and see if I can get a hold of this a little better. You can also spin this until it falls out, but then you have to dig it out of the bottom. There we go. Got our C-clip out of there. I'm gonna go put that in the safety bag of parts. I'm not sure if it matters, but I'm gonna put these separate so I know which is which. Generally, if you're not replacing everything here, you want to be very careful about the seal in the back. I'm not too worried about it since that's the whole point of me pulling this out. It is also very stretched at the bottom, so this was definitely leaking. That's why this whole thing smelled like diff fluid. Usually as you get to this part, you want to be very careful about holding this up and not dragging. We'll have a closer look at this seal now that this is out of here. As an extra note, these two axles are different lengths. It's only like a 1/2 inch to an inch depending. So make sure you keep them separate or in a way that you can keep track of which is which. They will leak if you put them in the opposite way. All right, let's have a little closer look at this. You can see down at the bottom here where there's a little extra whoop, whoop, whoop. It is not in an O shape anymore. It is very stretched. So it has been leaking out here. So it's a good thing we're doing this. Turns out I lost some footage. I rented an axle puller from the auto parts store. This works the same on both axles anyways. You just get to see it once though. Oh, you feel a little more solid. Let's try my left hand. That side hurts already. We're getting there slowly. There we go, got them out. Before we put these bearings back in, you want to get all of this as clean as you possibly can. Mine has some rust in it. So I'm going to give that a good wipe down everywhere. Make sure there's nothing wrong with any of the edges. I'm going to also get some of this old sealant scraped off here. Make sure it has a good seal. You're fine giving stuff a little light scrape, but don't gouge it. You can also use a razor blade if you're to be a little more careful than I am. I'm going to use just a touch of brake cleaner on my rag. I'm not going to necessarily spray it down in here because I can't really get that out of there later, so. Oh yeah, that got the rest of that. All right, we've got our hole nice and clean, everything's shiny. All that old gasket and rust is out of there. Now we can put everything back in. And we borrowed another tool from the auto parts store. Gonna use these to hammer the bearings and seals back in. So we'll grab a bearing and we will find the one that fits. Slightly bigger, maybe. Not too big now. Put some ears on. It's going to get real loud in here. 195 it is. Close the size I can get. Just put this little doodad on here and bolt some things together. Good enough. So we will push our bearing to the lip as well as we can. Put this fella on here. And then, of course, my hammers are out of reach. Let's try this again. Center this fella up. Give it some nice little gentle taps. Try again because it's kind of caught on that edge. Maybe. So our bottom started, then we need to even it back out, go up to the top. As you tap this in, don't be too shy with it, but also don't go too crazy. Giving it some firmness, but not too much, if that makes any sense. We're also trying to keep the bearing like straight up and down in there. If you're tapping and it starts to do this move, you're going to need to start to tap more at the top to get it straightened back out. This bearing press is just a little too small, so I'm kind of having to go from side to side as whichever side decides it's going in. I think she's in as much as she's going to be in. Have a feel around the edge, make sure there's no gap back there. Yeah. Well, there's our bearing in. We'll clean this out, make sure everything's nice and clean for the next one. So next we have our seal. We'll set that on there, and same story. I bet I can use a bigger one for this one though, because it is, yep, 2425. Yeah. Also make sure that's all clean since I dropped it. All right, found the way bigger size for this, so it's covering the whole thing. Same deal here. Press that up tight. Press that up against it. Give it some taps. This one should go in a little easier. That side wanted to go in first, so now we'll give you some of that side. There we go. Once this is down flat, there's no need to be shy with it. Give it some good hits, make sure it's really on there. Looking pretty good here. We're also going to throw just a smidge of gear oil in these, make sure they're not dry. Just kind of get that all around in there. Yep, should be good enough. Our axle has been out in the wilderness. We're going to give this a little wipe just to make sure we're not putting any bugs or whatever back in this system. Good enough. Nope, I lied. So we'll set this fella back in here. Want to be very careful about not hitting the seal as we push this back in. Once you're on the bearings, it should be fine. So we'll push this in, and we just hit all the diff. So now we've got to find, there's the angle. Yep, click, and push forward, and we're back in. Pretty simple. Same thing with this one. Give it one last little, make sure it's good and clean. You already seen this once. Probably gonna fast forward through most of this. Make sure we're all good and clean after all that nonsense, especially for the seal. Push that forward, put our hip. Feel like that's about as flush as I'm gonna get it. Okay, pump just a little bit of diff fluid on these bearings. So what happens back in the differential is it will throw fluid up the axle into these, but that usually takes a while. So since these are new, we're making sure these are good and soaked before all that happens. Yep, up there, maybe don't leak on everything. Oh, I dripped a little sweat on this, so let's not have that in there mixing things up. As you know, water and oil don't mix. Okay. Same thing with this one. Nice and easy with the seal. Set it on those bearings. And there oh, that shouldn't be, yep, I didn't think so. There we go. We hit the gears and the diff. Got to lift it a little. Oh, that went right in. Up, twisted bit. And there we're in. Yeah, I turned all the brightness up. We got lights down here. Hopefully you can see what's going on. I have pushed the passenger side axle all the way in as far as I can. So now there's a little ring here that the C-clip will fit into. We're gonna take our C-clip and push it into that. And then I'm gonna roll that C-clip so it's up on top of everything so it doesn't fall out. You're gonna get to watch this as I go pull the axle back out. Boop. There you go, that axle's in. So now I will push the other side out. You'll get to see that happen in real time as well. Maybe you get to see it in real time. There it went. So there came the other one. Let me grab the other C-clip. I'm also wiping these C-clips off so you can actually hold on to them. They are very slippery. So now you can see the other one has come through. Same thing. We'll put our C-clip in there. Yep, yep. Come on, buddy. Oh, roll it up. Oh, not too far up. Come back. There we go. Maybe you in there? Yep. So we're trying to balance that so that when I pull, it doesn't move and jam itself up. Oh. Same thing with this one. Give it a pull. There we go. Pulled out and should be good. Okay, we went up and put the Jeep in neutral so I can spin, or it's not in neutral. Let me be back. That four-wheel drive lever barely works. Hey, there, we're in neutral. So we're gonna spin the drive shaft. Oh, what just fell out? Oh, okay, well, we need that. So what happened is my gear fell out because as the diff turns, these gear sets turn. This is what holds the pin in. So they just have to be straight across from each other. So I'm gonna put this to where that is a straight line and I can just look at it. Let me make sure top, oh no, lost a C-clip, good. Oh, everything's falling out of there. We gotta stop. So our gear is supposed to be lined up with our hole. So I need to kind of turn these together, honestly, is what's more happening here. Yep. Let's wipe this fella off. So this is just a shim for the gears. So we're gonna put that back in there and give this a little twist. Sort of get that line back up again if I can. We're gonna turn this to where I can do this completely vertical. We want to put these back in so they're straight in line with each other. Gonna need one more for that. There we go. So now we have this directly below the top one. I'm gonna roll this shut, hopefully. Oh yeah. Make sure that shim stays there. So now I roll this all the way over and make sure my other one is still in there. So let's move these together. There we go. Okay, not the pin side. Get everything lined up in here. Give that a push. Give the other one a push. Oh, baby, yeah. Okay, so we'll turn this now. So now is, well, let me get this in here first and turn my hands. Okay, I still got to get that turned. So now that we have our pin back in here, you can see that it's holding the axles, hopefully. Surely some of this comes out decently. Okay, now that everything's lined up, so I'm gonna adjust the axle back and forward just a little bit to make this pin fall out in a controlled manner. Then we can have a look at where our hole is. We'll try and get that as lined up as we possibly can in a straight line. Ah, there we went. Very nice. Okay, that's in. Let's get our wrench with some slightly clean hands. And we will now wrench this down. Try and find the threads by hand here first. Yeah, that feels like I hit something. Let me give that a twist. There we go. So now we're going to spend 20 minutes trying to screw this back in. I searched all over the internet for the torque spec on this. 25 foot-pounds is the closest I could find anything. That feels way tighter than this was when I came down here though. So I feel like I'm just gonna tighten that until it doesn't turn. Yeah, there's no way that was 25 foot-pounds. I'm just gonna push this until it's tight, basically. Hard as I can push with this little wrench, and I'm gonna call that, because I really don't want to break that. We're gonna hope that's tight enough. If it's not, we'll find out real fast. Yeah, that's about as tight as that goes. So that's just what we're gonna do with it. And I'll let you know if that explodes. Next problem we have is getting all of this sealant off of here. And we're gonna be down here for a while. Got one of these little razor blade scraper guys, and we're just gonna spend the next hour laying under here and doing this. Try as hard as we can not to get any in here, but I mean, we'll wait to clean that out until the very last. Given the amount of rust and stuff, I'm gonna jam some paper towels up here to pretend that maybe it's not all falling into here. I'm excited for these gears to explode on me. Yeah, I'll do some of that. Yeah, it might slow down how much rust falls in there. And it might not. It's maybe knocked some of this rust off the diff while we're here. Usually you jack up the frame and drop the axle to do this, but I haven't decided that I actually care enough to do that. We'll find out with how badly I manage to clean this top if I'm gonna do that or not. Let me find a better angle to get my hand in here maybe. Gotta put those towels there because that is making a mess. I'll come over and block you. Got some 180. Let's, is that enough to, yeah, I'd say like some 180 is more of the grit to use on this. Yeah, that's going real nice. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna pretend that might not leak. Well, I already see some gasket maker. We're gonna maybe spray this out pretty good then. I will at least clean the edges off with this. Not spray the camera with brake clean. Okay. Okay, let's pull that off then. That doesn't look, on a scale of how bad it was beforehand, it looks okay. Oh, we also need to clean out our diff. Let's pull this out in the sun and set some things up. Same thing with this. There's this gasket maker jammed everywhere. Got to clean this all off. Let me wipe this down, maybe get some of this rust off of here. Yeah, that's starting to fall apart. Yep. Awesome. And some brake clean. There's a lot of rust that has creeped in here. Gonna get rid of that. I mean, given the amount of rust and everything on here, I feel like we're getting that about as clean as it's gonna get. Brake clean it again. Yep, there's some gasket left there. If your Jeep isn't a rust box, I would argue you clean this a little better than I'm cleaning this. But there's like some rust that's come into this now, and If it doesn't seal, well, it doesn't seal, and I put a little bit in every once in a while. Okay, let me clean my hands. I got a lube blocker gasket replacer. This thing just sandwiches between the two. Then when you pull it off, it's still there and you can reuse it instead of all this gross thing that's happening here. I assume we're going to be back in this diff, so I'm using this. This is actually the generic replacement. I'd suggest to spend the $11 extra and buy the real one. This is definitely not as good of quality as the name brand one. I will link both those down in the description. Yeah, that's the worst I've seen something packaged. Spend the extra money and get the good one. It'll be down in the description. So we're just lining up. This can only go one way. The other way, things don't line up. So you got one way to do this. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go do it. Here we go. I'm so excited. Back under the rust bucket. Okay, we got this maybe lined up. I'm gonna slide this up. Where are my bolt holes? Yep. Okay. Give that a little push. My gasket's a little crooked. I see holes everywhere. Let's get a bolt in here. Oh. Oh, I forgot how rusty those are too. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. We got one started. Nope. Stay where you're at. Okay. Well, that should stay where it's at. Let me get some more of these and start putting them in. Okay, that should hold it. Let me get some top ones in because they are going to be very hard to do. Hopefully I can at least hold on to this and push with that. Oh, not bad at all, honestly, on a scale of terrible things. We're going to be here a while. Well, that's got so much rust on it, it won't fit in the socket. Where's this one? Can I get my hand to that somehow? Oh, there's the terrible one. Is that right? Is that the right way? You the right bolt? You the right turn? Yeah. Oh, hey, it's going in. Yeah, there's some more rust. Don't mind that. Don't mind that. Just imagine the doors off and the top down, cruising in the beautiful fall air. It's worth it. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it, I promise. We're so close. I'm sure something else to go wrong. we're so close. There's a lot of bolts in that bag. I'm not happy about that. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna come get in your way for a bit. I'm sure this is just the greatest. Let's not hold two bolts in my hand. Let's do this one at a time. Yeah, you want to go in? No. Oh, you're at the worst angle. All right, these get torqued down to 25 to 30 foot-pounds. You're supposed to do a special pattern when you tighten these and torque them down. It's just a star pattern, so I'm probably just going to ignore it and do a star pattern. Okay. Okay, we got them all. All we got left now is filling this up with some diff fluid. Show you how to do that. Okay, so we got our diff oil with this handy little pump. It's gonna pump for days. The camera turned off on the first part of this. I've been down here for a while. I'm confused on how this isn't full yet. Oh, come on. There we go. It's finally starting to overflow here as I pump in diff fluid. I will, now that I'm covered, we will sneak our finger in there and make sure we're, yep. I'm gonna let that drain out a bit. And let me go find the cover. Oh, we got our diff plug. I'm gonna pop that in there. Maybe I will. There we go. Pinch, push, pull. Okay. There we go. That's solidly back together. Let me grab a bunch of paper towels. And we're gonna hose this fella down so we can tell if it is leaking. Probably the cleanest thing on the Jeep right now. That's all good and clean. We can now check later if it's leaking. I'm gonna call it a day today though. See you tomorrow. We're closing in on finally driving this. Next video we're gonna fix the brakes, drive it maybe the first time in 13 years, at least according to the tags. Given all this rotten rust, I don't doubt that honestly. Links are down in the description to everything we used in the video today. Someday we'll take this out on an adventure. We'll get out there and see the stars!